when there's large amounts of money at stake, billions of dollars at stake, millions and billions of dollars at stake, and you have large institutions and groups of investors in there, I will say there's, some crazy shit can go down.
And with that in mind, like, what are the chances that these two things are connected? That the DDoS that's been going on with Arma, and Arma being released on PlayStation, and now the PlayStation network is down. Like, what are the chances? Because, I think at first I didn't think that, but anybody that's had a conversation about it, I think you eventually think that. Like, damn, was it them? Hell, like this morning, like, my electric toothbrush wasn't working. I thought, fucking hackers.
Welcome gamers, non-gamers, PvEers, PvPers, and even NPCs. We don't discriminate. This is the New Wave Gaming Podcast, episode 65, and boy, oh boy, have we been wanting to connect with our fellow gamers out there. ChukTomahawk, what's going on, man?
I'm in a gaming desert over here, man.
Like a Saharan, like wide open. You don't even see an oasis out there, right? You're not even getting the mirages.
No, there's like old gaming CDs and DVDs kind of rolling by outside.
ChukTomahawk, man. Yeah, it is. Like, so basically we're in a real pickle right now between a rock and a hard place. Fellow gamers, we've not only have we not been able to play our beloved Arma Reforger for what, Chuck? Like, I don't know, like a week? More?
Probably, yeah, a little more before it's really been right, like.
Yeah. And as of, I think, the first we found out about this was yesterday from our good old Pepe Tortilla. PlayStation is down.
The whole
what in the
whole
heck is going on, man?
Network, man, like worldwide.
Dude, in fact, you know what? Worldwide, you just said it. So let me take an opportunity real quick. I want to read this. This is from tomsguide.com. Already this outage has stretched on longer than the previous time PSN was down in October, which lasted roughly 9 hours. Thousands of angry PlayStation players have taken to social media to express their frustration. Call of Duty fans have been some of the most vocal, as the outage coincides with a promotional weekend for Black Ops 6, where players could earn double XP through Monday. What does it say here? Sony hasn't given any indication of when this issue will be fully resolved for all users, but has confirmed they are working on to restore access. Meanwhile, players around the world, from Japan to Australia and Brazil, continue to report PSN issues, and they'll keep us updated, of course. Gosh golly. Yikes. Is that desert you're talking about, man?
So, yeah, like I guess you said it, a rock and a hard place. Even if we could get on, the game we might want to play, especially when we're all playing together, would be Arma Reforger, and it's having troubles like being DDoSed and everything. So yeah, just a second ago, like we thought we'd check and see if it was working this morning, and you can't even get on the PlayStation Network. Yeah.
We want to provide a quality, updated episode regarding the Arma Reforger situation. So it only made sense, right, to check this morning if maybe the servers had been fixed to get a real up to the minute episode going. And nah.
And I'm not sure the exact distance, but we're looking at probably 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 miles between us, right? like we're in different countries. Like it is worldwide. It is worldwide. We can speak to that. Good point, Chuck.
Yeah. Good point. We can literally speak to that. Well, I mean, we're not worlds apart. Well, you know what I mean. We could be further apart, but we are in different countries. That's for darn sure.
And a good distance. Yeah. A few time zones. And wow. For me, I got lucky. I was playing Ark, of course, and I was in my base. So, I guess it could have been worse. Like, as far as the timing, because I got kicked like mid game, and just thought it was something going on, and tried to get back on, and no, still can't this morning. Every time I'd wake up during the night to go to the bathroom or something, I'd do a quick check, like latest news and.
Negativo, senor.
So, wow.
All right. Well, so PlayStation's down, but really, everyone, we wanted to talk about Arma Reforger, and maybe we can jump back into PlayStation Chuck towards the end. So stick around, and we'll jump back into PlayStation. But we wanted to talk about the Arma Reforger servers and all of the what would you call it, Chuck? All of the chit chat, all of the talk, and all of the speculation and
the tea.
Conspiracies going around Arma Reforger. But before that, real quick, we also wanted to tease that I think next episode we are going to do a full-on GTA 6 episode. We're going to just lay it out. We're going to talk about what we know so far. We're going to talk about what we're hoping to see, and just have a good old time, get lots of laughs, and just talk about one of our favorite games in the world, at least one of our favorite franchises.
Yeah, as it gets closer and closer, they're having to test the shit out of that stuff. So there's more and more eyes getting on it, and more potential to.
Yeah, and they just quote unquote, confirmed the release date. Mm-hmm. That happened, I think, yesterday or the day before, but they just kind of like, one of those, like, I'll call it a soft confirmation. So it's still looking good. 2025, the year of GTA 6.
God, I hope so, but I'm still standing besides the ChukTomahawk hard no. Like that. When I heard fall of 2025, I just say.
Well, right now with everything going on, man. All right, Let's stick to it here.
Maybe.
Okay, so man, where should we begin, Chuck? The topic is this. Arma Reforger. Just to give some background, Arma Reforger is kind of serving as that bridge between Arma 3 and Arma 4.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Chuck? Is that it? Yeah, Arma 3 and Arma 4. And, it's really focused on multiplayer and modding tools. It's really, and it only recently came out on PlayStation. We don't need to rehash all of that. Check out our episodes 63 and 64. We talk a lot about Arma. But this is really more about what the server crashes that it's having. So, yeah, the core problem is that basically, we experienced this a little over a week ago. At least that's when I did. I remember I signed in, and I'm playing on the PS5. I think this problem is going across all platforms. No one's getting through on here. Everyone's getting affected. And that's a lot of players right now. That's a lot of people that can't get their Arma in. And basically, yeah, there's just these huge, like, I remember signing in, and I managed to get to the screen where all those servers, line up on there. And the first thing I noticed is that all of them had red pings. They were all just 3 red bars. Like, gosh, dang. I think there was one that was like yellow. And then very quickly, another little screen came up. Yeah. Wait, what was that?
Like if you use it, it's gonna be shit. It's like, can you hear me now?
Like moving like a Mario character.
Yeah.
But very quick. Like, I noticed that, and then very quickly, another little screen came up, and I don't remember exactly what it said, but it had a bunch of red circles, saying, you can't do this, you can't access your account, you don't have this connection, and you don't have that connection. And, that was the first instance that I saw that. I think, same with Pepe Tortilla, same with yourself. We figured, what does any gamer figure when they see a little something like that for the first time?
Yeah, it's
probably just a
little something happens here.
A little something. Maybe a little restart of the old console will fix it.
Yeah, yep. Restart it is always the first.
Restart the console, right?
Yep. Controller.
You might not even go with a full restart. You might just do I'm going to reboot this game. I'm going to restart the app.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Is my internet connected? Down here in where I'm at on the peninsula, internet's not, it's not on the same shelf as internet where you're at.
Yeah, it could be anything. Yeah.
You know, I'm Starlink set up down. You know, I just found out that I actually could get an Ethernet cable plugged into this. So I got that done now.
Yeah.
So I got that done now. You know, I'm getting up there, Chuck.
That's right.
Just wait till you see my podcast setup. Hey, fellow gamers, if you want to see my podcast setup, just drop a comment in the Spotify episode or hit us up.
Yeah. How many Folgers coffee cans had to die to bring
you
this
egg cartons over here, brother.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Anyways, so yeah, you know, you'll reboot, you'll do that, but we very quickly realized that was
something ain't
you know,
right.
that it was going on for, you know, a couple of days went by, and I think still, even at that point, I still felt like, well, this really sucks, but it still didn't seem that far-fetched to me. It didn't seem out of this world that an online-based game would be having some sort of a difficulty or a challenge that took it offline for, I don't know, 48 hours, 72 hours, you know.
Especially
and
when
then at some point,
not to interrupt, but especially one having this much success, you know, you might think it like it's gotten so popular, it's like hit some kind of capacity or something, you know. So
exactly.
Yeah, so it it's nothing to really freak out about, like you know, when something like that happens at first. I mean, it's like, you know, situationally inconvenient, but it's going to be okay usually.
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Yeah, I mean, because we've got there's so many games. I don't need to go down that rabbit hole. There's so many games that are just strictly online. I mean, Ark is an example, right? So anyway, I mean, I'm sure that
yeah, and especially in this case, like the Days game, I think is important to look at because I don't know.
Oh, the DayZ?
Yeah, I couldn't say like for sure, but I think we're looking at the same folks, like that, you know, that did Arma, like Bohemia, like yeah, there's a little bit of like something to be read from how that goes over there occasionally, like, you know,
totally.
Yeah.
Man, oh man.
And that's mods and just you know, like it's a survival game and yeah, like shit happens. Is probably the short version.
So shit happens, and kind of just segueing or moving forward. At what point? This is a perfect opportunity. At what point did you start to? Did you realize or notice or gain curiosity or figure out, rather, just to, you know, when did you figure out that there was more to it?
I think for me, it was we all got online and lately, you know, up until that point, we were all playing Arma when we had a chance that all of us could play. And you know, especially we even mentioned in our last episode, it's kind of tough to play alone. You know, it's much more fun with your friends, and you can make plenty of friends in there and play as a solo player. Like, don't get me wrong, but in our worlds, I think, like, you know, if I'm gonna,
we all have the most fun when we're playing together.
and we're playing other games. So like, you know, when that opportunity is not available, we play something else, and when it is, we'll go over there. So, but I think that night I was playing Ark, and I was kind of not going to switch like right away. I had, you know, it took a minute to wrap things up, and I heard you guys talk, and you know that you were going on over there, and you know the queues were longer than usual, but you try to keep a positive attitude, and then just after a while, I think you got in, but like Pepe Tortilla never got in. And like, I just sort of experienced it through you guys more than anything. But, you know, once I knew that you guys eventually abandoned that plan of going ahead and playing Arma, like I knew that answers your question. like I was like,
Yeah, but when did you find out that what I meant? Yeah, indeed. Yeah. I guess that was enough to be like, okay, well, there's something wrong with Arma.
Yeah.
But when did you get wind that there about the DDoS thing? Because and fellow gamers, we're kind of adjusting now into like the theories of what's going on and why this is happening.
Yeah,
because it hasn't been fixed.
And honestly, I feel like there's always like a, you know, just 10% base level, like people have problems. Like sometimes there are specifically, maybe it's just your PlayStation or whatever had some kind of weird glitch or something. So there's always like just a tiny little bit of stuff on social media about like, this company sucks or this game sucks. And, someone's had some anecdotal fucked up experience but like I started noticing on social media, like a little more than usual, like, people going on about it and, people talking about like, what'd you guys do when you waited in that queue and kind of became like a funny topic but then I also like when I really knew it was an issue is I think, maybe a similar situation was going on like a day or two later and you guys did get in, but you couldn't really like pin it down, but you just said something ain't right. Like it's janky,
it
like
did.
Somehow like,
it did feel, that's exactly right, Chuck. Yeah. I don't know. It's so hard to describe, but it felt like just there were sporadic frame drops or sporadic, just weird, like, I guess I hate to use the word janky because we use it so much these days, but it just kind of felt like it was working smooth, and then it'd just go into this like, this havoc moment, and then it'd work smooth, and then havoc moment, and then boom, you're disconnected. So it was.
Yeah,
it was
and it
strange.
kills the buy-in. Like we talked about like how those flares and stuff like reacting to trees and everything. Like I felt like I was living, in like part of the platoon
you
movie.
did. I remember your chat.
But
you were
like when you
shit.
see something jerk like that and stuff, like it takes all that away. Like you're like,
Yeah. Oh yeah. The immersion.
yeah. You it pulls you back, and you're like, oh yeah, what am I doing with my life here? Like.
Playing soldier.
Yeah.
Calm down there, Rambo.
Yeah.
I saw the light.
Yeah, no kidding. You've been talking shit, and like if you were actually in a real situation in life, like you wouldn't be doing that. Like is what I'm thinking to myself. Like, tend to be pretty self-preservation turns out to be a real thing.
Oh man.
Yeah. But
So
yeah.
So like there are several theories behind, and there's actually a lot of them. I was doing some looking around and checking. And there's certainly more than a couple, but the main top theory, and we should just dive right into it.
Mm.
It's the DDoS attacking.
Yeah.
Which, yeah.
And I didn't know a lot about that. I think at some point I picked up like I kept seeing 2 Ds in it, and it was like denial of service. And I was like, well, that pretty well sums it up. Like, it's like I can't get in there. Like it's definitely been a denial of service on the PlayStation. But like, maybe you do like a little more digging, look at the Wikipedia page. There's like I think when you see that other D, it could be distributed denial of service, and there's a few versions of this. I guess there's I want to say like the gist of how what I think happens is they first like kind of put out like a bad some type of malware that takes over a lot of the computers, like kind of subtly. It doesn't really do anything else other than like recruit it as sort of this bot network and that's waiting out there. And then when they decide to turn this bot network loose on something, it basically just uses the thing. It doesn't go in like some back door or, some hacking of sort. It basically just has bots like go and sign up and do game things, which overload the servers. And would cause that kind of jankiness that you're talking about, and also cause those long queues. But
Yep.
And
Man, that's such crazy shit, man. That's crazy
well, and
shit.
then like I think once the speculation started, like how we kind of I just said online, there's always that 10% of just anecdotal folks, but you started seeing more and more, and we had our experience, and other people had that experience, and. People could relate to what are you doing when you can't do that, and what other game might you play, and that kind of thing. But once eventually it started coming forward, like some people took responsibility. Like I forget, like there was kind of like a Chinese name brought forward in some posts I saw.
Like I think that was on X, right, or formerly Twitter. It had like a, and I can bring it up, but it had like a Chinese style kind of a name, perhaps, And then under it, I think it said like, what was it? I have it here. Style Squad.
Sounds right.
Something Style Squad Reborn, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
Bring it up here.
And it, people were speculating like, who are these folks and what would be their motivation? I think sometimes like companies will actually challenge hackers to break security systems. And if like, you do something like that sort of under legitimate circumstances, it can be used on your resume as in like, hey, we're good at what we do, or whatever. And
we jacked up Bohemia for about.
Yeah, you remember that? When you couldn't play Arma? Hey, that was us. Like, and I mean, I guess, yeah, like I could see like, I had a big tech company or something, and they're like, yeah, we hired the guy that brought down Arma for 2 weeks. Like, that's that kid in there with the bushy head of broccoli on top of his head there, haircut. And, but yeah, I think
it's Style Squad Reborn is the name. That's what everyone.
And a little bit of the dialogue I saw, like there were some tweets, like people started asking them why, and some stuff started coming forward about mods and that they felt were sort of morally wrong, and it kind of went down a whole rabbit hole of,
Yeah, I mean, what I saw in like a bunch of videos on YouTube, and obviously this is YouTube, so take it with a grain of salt, but is that the Style Squad Reborn is a group of Russian folks, and that they were kind of like, hey, there's this mod where they're kind of like simulating the Russia-Ukraine war. Mm-hmm. And, which is ongoing. Mm-hmm. And that, they were just like, we're not going to have that. So basically, boom, DDoS. And they just hacked the servers. And I know that's very boiled down. That's very simplistic description, but that's the gist of what was in these YouTube videos. And
Yeah.
And this is theory number 1, DDoS attacks. And, there's a lot we can say with this, right? Beginning with, I guess we don't really know if it's true or not. This is just kind of like, the prevailing theory. Is that the right word, Chuck? Mm-hmm. Prevailing?
Sounds right.
It's like the main theory. And there's another facet to this theory that we'll crack open, which is like, now we're starting to. Well, I mean, I don't know if we're already in like tinfoil hat theory, tinfoil hat territory, at least in the gaming world sense.
Yeah, true.
But before going over that second facet of this, we're on PS5, we don't even know what they're talking about. We've got 2 modes, I think. It's conflict and game master. We don't, what mods, like, gee.
Very true. But it, I think I had that hunch like right away, but more in a Russia versus America kind of way, because that's kind of how the game is. Like, we are fighting the Russians in the game, and my immediate thought was, like, it went back to years ago. I think at some point I had Kaspersky antivirus, and I remember it being really good, working really well. And I thought, man, sometimes Russians can be really kick ass on computers. And maybe this makes sense. Like, if anybody had probably already had a bot army waiting, that they had already infiltrated all these other computers with malware, and all they had to do was just turn it towards who they wanted. That was enough. And man,
so they pointed it at Bohemia and said, hey, we want 0.8 Bitcoin.
Baller. What you gonna do now? 20-inch blades. Dang, man, that did. And I told you, I think we were kind of texting about this week, and when I saw that, I was like, oh, well, we're dealing with crazy here. There's no reasoning with these people. This is gonna go on. like I don't know exactly what kind of crazy, but I saw crazy. I think I have a little crazy, and I saw it. I know it when I see it, and I was like,
I know it when I see it. 0.8 Bitcoin.
I was like,
Not one.
That's oddly specific and crazy. Like, you know, and maybe there was some exchange rate. Like they asked for 10,000 rubles or something, and it turned into that in Bitcoin. Like maybe that's it, but yeah, I think my first thing I said to you was like, why not just get a Bitcoin? Like if you're gonna go 0.8, like let's just round it up.
Round up. You know, you're gonna have closing costs.
Exactly. So, yeah,
there's going to be tax and a closing cost. Yeah. You're going to want to go.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so
if you're going to walk away with 8.8, you're going to want to charge 1.
Yep. There's always closing costs, yeah. So that tells me. And another thing that's came up in this, like as I was kind of researching DDoS attacks, like I think there are ways to deal with it. Like you can get this cloud service that apparently can like kind of discern bots a little bit, like kind of see bot behavior and weed it out and get you to your real customers and some other things. But the hacker in that same correspondence that we're talking about said something about that they haven't even tried to defend themselves yet. Like they've just let it happen, essentially.
Yeah,
that came up several times in videos I had saw, and it's almost like they're waiting for that move.
Interesting. Do you happen to have their tweets up by chance?
No, because I wonder like how we all decided that's the part that's real. Like it's definitely feels like a consensus, you know, from the internet, you know, that's who's done this or whatever. But the crazy part that I recognize also makes me just wonder, is this just someone that was like, because man, I've been seeing all kinds of videos about like, the PlayStation Network's back up. Like that'd be a quick way to get views on social media right now, is be the first guy, you know, that showed you got back in or whatever, you know.
Here it says, On GamePressure.com, it says hackers have been executing DDoS attacks on Arma Reforger and DayZ servers for a week, now reportedly demanding ransom. I wonder why this isn't even a theory anymore. I don't know. I wonder why it came up as a theory on my research, you know?
I still feel like, and honestly, I think that's an age we're entering to in the internet, when as deep fakes get better and better, it's going to take away the value of the internet, dude. We're always going to be like.
So this could be a theory. You're because this is from February 3. So
from
this
what
is a few.
So this all comes from some conversation that happened on X, and the guy seemed to know enough that it made it somewhat credible. Like, you know what I mean?
I see what you're saying. True.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I mean,
okay,
like,
gotcha.
like if I say, okay, it's me, and you say, well, what does DDoS stand for? And I'm like, you know, you're like, yeah, okay, hacker.
You go, champ. All right, I want to read this stuff because this is good. It's old though. This is from February 3rd. Hackers have been executing DDoS attack on Arma Reforger and DayZ servers for a week, now reportedly demanding ransom. The DDoS storm rages on, and with new reports suggesting that the group Style Squad Reborn is behind the attacks on DayZ and Arma Reforger servers. On February 1, 2025.
Hey, y'all. It's Chuck T. I don't know how, but here you are listening to me. So this is your call to action. Need you to hit the social medias, the Facebooks, the Instagrams, the TikTok, and put in at NWG Podcast, and you'll figure out what we've been doing lately and what's going on with the podcast, and that'll link you up and maybe get over there listening to it out there on Spotify and Apple and those kind of places, wherever you listen to podcasts. Give us a review. 5 stars is what I'm thinking. Even if you don't like it, give us a 5-star anyway, and we'll read it out on the podcast. Remember, we don't discriminate. So yeah, help us out. Give us some feedback. Interact. And if you're taking Notion, want to send us an email, you can get in touch with us at Ovox and Chuck at gmail.com. That's OVOXANDCHUK at gmail.com. Hope to see you there.
Bohemia Interactive revealed that the revealed that the DDoS, according to this article at least, revealed that the DDoS attacks weren't limited to Arma Reforger, but also had impacted DayZ. A group called Zhangzhongji, I don't know if I pronounced that right, on X, aka Style Squad 6996, claimed responsibility for the attacks earlier that day. Interesting.
A lot of X's in there.
According to current theories, the motive behind the attack may be related to community-hosted servers in Arma that allowed for simulations of the Russian-Ukrainian war. As for their demands, the hackers are allegedly asking for a ransom of 0.8 Bitcoin, roughly $81,000. However, some reports suggest that the attacks... That's not a real word. That's an error in this article. The attacks really carried out... Okay, the attacks were really carried out for fun, making their true intentions even more unclear. It seems that the attacks have temporarily stopped, as the latest tweets from Zhangji now demand contact with Clamax, which I think is probably one of the developers or spokespeople for the game.
Dude, I feel like there are streamers that make like millions on this, like that should be like 0.8 Bitcoin, like to get my game back and just pay it. Like,
yeah.
I think it's been proven that is like a bad way to play it with terrorists. Like, I think the U.S. has always gone with not negotiating with terrorists, but like, I also think like $81,000 to, some famous streamer or one of these YouTube folks that wanted to play, like, that doesn't seem like a lot of money.
Well, but one of those, I see what you're getting at, but I think my first thought, if I'm going down that line of thinking, my first thought would be that the developer would pay the $81K. Like, you guys just got how many sales?
Oh yeah. Get
more sales, or pay it, and then get more.
Yeah, why is there not a GoFundMe or something?
Yeah. If you're gonna negotiate rather and pay, right? If you're gonna go down the fine, we'll pay path. If you're not gonna pay and just try to fix it, I don't know what that looks like, to be quite honest, because I'm sure it's tech, right? So there's hacking on top of hacking on top of hacking. So I'm sure there's a solution out there, but I don't know what they're doing. It's definitely taking a long time.
I know the other night, like, I was having a good time in art, but I wanted to play, and if like they need me to fly over to Russia and give them dudes a hug or something, or be the dad that they didn't have, or throw a baseball around or something. I can do that. I mean, I'll do that.
I guess usually the simplest thing is what it is. Like, the simplest solution is you know what I mean? Like, what is that called? There's like a concept or a principle behind that, but whatever the simplest explanation is usually the correct explanation. But I do wonder how much accuracy and authenticity there is to this story. Well, and because Chuck, do you wanna unveil the other side to this? The other.
That's what I was going to say. I didn't know if you were still thinking about it, but I think, like, if this didn't exist, we know who the likely blame would be. Would be Activision and Call of Duty, like, because it's no lie, like, that they were like, in our anecdotal experience, we used to play Call of Duty, like, and we kind of got tired of it. I can't say we went directly to Arma, but like.
No, but the whole time we were looking for the next thing. Mm-hmm. I think, like, subconsciously in our gaming subconscious, we all kind of got tired of those battle royales, and those multiplayers. We got tired of the Call of Duties, and even other games that are like that. But mostly, the Call of Duty and stuff, and the Modern Warfares. We got tired of all that. Just kind of fell out of love with them. Each in our own pace, but the same thing happened for all of us. Found ourselves in other games, but I don't know about you. I can't speak for you, but for me, the whole time I was kind of like, in a way, like excited for the next game that would bring that kind of a feeling that you get from games like Call of Duty and Battle Royales and stuff. Because we've talked about that feeling in other episodes before,
Sure.
you know, like it's a unique type of gaming sensation that you get as a gamer when you play those just run and gun, you know, so...
Well, and the
And
way
then-
we were playing at the end, like, signified exactly what you're saying. Like, we weren't exactly playing it like we had all, we weren't using guns anymore.
You're right. Yeah, it got way... Yeah, in the very beginning, back on the first map, what was it called? Verdansk?
Yeah.
I think, man, those were the best.
The TV station.
Because there was a lot of like,
Yeah.
you know, it was great. But anyway, so
Yeah.
and it's funny because, you know, Arma is not a run and gun game.
Lord,
Far from
Lord,
it. It's a
no.
milsim. You know, it's completely different. But man, it's really like been that loving papa, that big brother with open arms that's received all of us from that community and just got, guys, here I am. I have what you've been looking for. Come into me.
Yeah.
Oh. And man, we just like, you know, floated towards it and just like fully embraced it. And after some frustration, some tears, and some screaming, which are the first couple of times you play Arma, you quickly fall in love with it.
Yeah, it had a
Once
bridge.
you get past the fact that you can't see yourself on the map.
Yeah. Well, I
You
think
get
a
past that,
barrier
and then
to
you fall in love
entry
with it.
to that game, those milsim games, was that they were complex and complicated. You know, a lot of them were mainly on PC, and they just weren't for your average Call of Duty player, in my opinion. But once it came to console, like, even though it is still really complex, like, it is a more streamlined version of it. So it's kind of like milsim light, and yeah, we can. It was approachable for me. Like I think that, you know, there's rightfully so a barrier because, you know, like the things we've described, like you just said, not seeing yourself on the map, or, you know, not being able to talk to your buddies when you've been killed, and just, you know, a lot of things that are,
when you get killed or blown up, and there's like there's literally zero time between like the moment you die, the map opening, and then you having to choose where to respawn. You don't get to feel any remorse.
no.
The game kicks you right in the ass. It kicks you right in the ass and tells you, "Get on, soldier, get going again."
Yeah. It's very damn realistic, and yeah, and I think that probably is one of the reasons that if I did see a mod that somehow struck some sort of chord inside of me, like issues I cared about, you know, like the history of Tennessee and the Civil War or something, like, you know, there's times I don't like to hear part of it. And, you know, you got to come to terms with some of those things over.
I have to hack the shit out of somebody.
Yeah, you know, I could see me getting bent, you know, I probably wouldn't have the skills to do much about it, but, you know, I might send an anchovy pizza over there or something like, you know.
Take that. And you covered the tip.
Yeah. Aha.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. But hey, let's hope. So with Activision, what's the deal there, man? With that I mean, it's really simple, right? The theory is the full on tinfoil hat theory is that Activision, low key, you know, abajo de la mesa, paid off some hackers to go pull up on Arma with all the DDoSing and cause this because of what you're describing. That's it, right? I mean, that's the gist of it.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah. And man.
That's professional podcast talk. Allegedly.
Yeah. So it seems. Yeah, that, you know, I think was the natural conclusion for anybody, because, you know, you've got to, like I say, I like the thought of being in that queue, and you know, what do you do? I know for me, I get on my phone, or I you know, like I made up some funny things that I do or whatever, but in reality, I look at my phone or you know, get on the computer that's right next to my gaming system here and kind of do something. But you do have a lot of time to think about, like, what the hell is going on here, and, you know, the conspiracies come out, and I think it's amazing that, you know, the why is tough for me. Like if it makes sense that, okay, like it was about that, like there is a lot of other things. There's a whole campaign. They have a contest going on, I think, that's called Make Arma Not War. And
yep.
And so
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
does
that's
that not
true.
balance this out like a little bit? Like, you know, and also like I saw like one of my favorite TikToks. I saw it didn't necessarily about Arma, but the guy about the PlayStation thing. Like he was down, he filmed himself on the corner, and he was like, "I'm out here selling drugs." Hope you're happy, PlayStation.
What else is he gonna do?
Yeah, it's like came home, couldn't get on. Well, okay. He was like literally on the corner, you know.
Do you know what kind of drugs he was selling?
I think he was just being funny, but like it got me. Like
That's so funny.
It looked real. It looked real.
Thanks, PlayStation. Can't get on. Out here selling drugs. That's funny.
They're on the corner, and he like showed the street sign. You know, it was two signs meeting. You know, like a corner.
Yeah, crossroads.
Out here on a corner.
Might make a deal with the devil if things don't get better.
I tell you, man, I was thinking about it this morning. Like, I keep hearing that what is it, that Fleetwood Mac song? I built my life around you. Like, and it's like my whole Saturday's just fucked. I mean,
You might end up watching the Super Bowl tomorrow.
I am. I'm gonna have to, apparently. Like, it's just, I don't know. I mean, I guess I could play Rust on the computer if I really wanted to. So, but
Let's play a little Rust, dude. I'm down.
What I really want to do is play Ark, dude. I have like yeah, I mean, I'm addicted to it. Like what can I say? Like I have like a plan though. Like things needed to happen this weekend so that during the week when there wasn't a bunch of people on, I could do, you know, another thing. Like so it's fucking up my world big time.
Well, dude, take some of this Arc time and make more fun Arma clips for the fellow gamers out there.
Yeah, I do have some stuff up on where I've been streaming, like some clips I could put up there. Yeah, yeah.
Like everyone, fellow gamers, thank you for checking out those things we've been uploading online. Like we uploaded that one clip about the last ARM episode. That was our first clip where we used captions and all that cool fancy stuff that, you know, those influencers out there are using. And it got a lot of love.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, man. I mean, what do you do, right? What do you do? PlayStation's down. Arma's down. I mean,
well, and also
I'm taking up Japanese again. Like I'm doing like productive shit all of a sudden.
I did yesterday, man. I got like some leaf blowing done. Like I was just like beside myself. I went to bed. Hell, that's what I did last night. Like I called it a night. That shit kicked me out around 7. I tried to get back on a couple times, and I went to bed. I was just like, you guys were messaging like you know like I was already in bed like at some point. You know, I was awake, kind of looking at my phone, but yeah, I gave up. I went and watched a video about playing Ark, like rather than doing it.
Oh god, that's hilarious.
It's a wrap.
That made me laugh so hard. Jesus. I went to bed.
I did, and I thought like somehow this morning I'd be like, you know, the spring chicken from it, but no, that didn't happen either. I woke up about 5 o'clock, like, and kind of got sleepy again about the time it was time to get up. So it's hard to win those things.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I thought, you know, surely this morning, like Christmas morning, you know, I came down the steps like looking for Santa Claus, like surely it'll be back up this morning, you know, and no.
Dude, that was like one of the first things. I pulled up my phone and I already had the screen up, you know, the web thing up, so I just had to refresh it on my phone. And it still came up red. I was like, what?
I saw just a minute ago that the app is working for some folks, but that just seemed how to make me even madder. I was just like, well,
Look at that.
God.
I don't know if you can see it.
Thank God. Yeah, it's bad
All
news.
red. Dang, still, man, coming up on 11. Dang, dude. I wonder if Style Squad is getting after PS. Like, you guys are gonna platform that game. Here's some DDoS for your way.
Well, I don't know, man. Is this the way to like handle this? I will admit, I did see some mods that looked like they had put drone warfare in, and
oh damn,
it looked
You're
terrifying.
like, all right, guys, come on now.
I could see me being like
Stop
traumatized
modding.
by those fucking drones, man. If I had to live through that in real life, like I'd be somewhere like 10 years later, somebody turn a fan on, I'd fucking jump behind a car or
Freak out,
something.
yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, the whole Activision thing seems super far-fetched to me just because, like, I mean, who knows, right? Who knows, like, you know, large institutions and when there's large amounts of money at stake, billions of dollars at stake, millions and billions of dollars at stake, and you have large institutions and groups of investors in there, I will say there's, you know, some crazy shit can go down.
And with that in mind, like, what are the chances that these two things are connected? That the DDoS that's been going on with Arma, and Arma being released on PlayStation, and now the PlayStation network is down. Like, what are the chances? Because, you know, I think at first I didn't think that, but anybody that's had a conversation about it, I think you eventually think that. Like, damn, was it them? Hell, like this morning, like, you know, my electric toothbrush wasn't working. I thought, fucking hackers. Is nothing sacred in this world?
Well, I think it's fair to say if you play Arma Reforger and having been experiencing these down servers, and then yesterday you try to jump online to play something else and realize that the network was down, the entire PlayStation network, I think it's fair to say that it probably crossed your mind that there might be a connection.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Fair to say. So, what could that be? Like, did they go like, oh yeah, like, we're going phase 2?
Fuck phase 2. Don't say phase 2 because then there's going to be a phase 3. We don't want phase 3. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, man. So that's the bottom line with that. And there's not much more to say about that. I'm just kidding.
I know
Go ahead.
Me personally, like the Russians I have ran into, like I feel like you've probably had a few opportunities to meet some as well. Like
I've never actually
hardcore.
I've never interacted. I don't. You know, dude. You know where I live. Like I don't think I've ever met a Russian person, to be honest with you. And I mean that's just the truth.
I feel like I did, and I feel like you were there as well. There was that cat that rode his BMW motorcycle like the entire length of North America or something one time is the one I'm thinking of, and he was
I may have met a
certifiable.
Russian. I may have met a Russian without knowing that it was a Russian person.
And I may have that a little confused. Like he was definitely Eastern European bloc countries. It may have been Poland or something like that. But yeah, you know. And I'm just saying he was a wild one. You know, he was a good person and everything. But man, it was like, you know, it was like extreme behavior. I think he had like some relationship that had gone bad, and he told me that he had a hole in his heart that whistled when the wind blowed, and that was while he was doing it.
Damn.
Yeah. So just so, you know, my point is that somewhere in my mind, I just picture these like hardcore ass people, you know, that can probably stand some suffering, like and
Yeah.
you know, they're like, oh my God, how these people bitch when they lose their little game, you know?
Like a hole in their heart that whistles.
Yeah, this is me crying for you.
Look at my little tiny violin, brother.
It's accompanied by this hole in my heart. Yeah, that's the way I feel about it. Just
The little violin, brother.
somewhere I see that guy, like, you know, somewhere.
Oh gosh.
But, man, I hope it gets better soon, dude. I don't want to go through this whole weekend with no PlayStation. I can't.
No, I know, me neither. And I feel like the cat's out of the bag, the rabbit's out of the hat. Like, it seems like this is what's going on. Like, I almost don't even want to mention the other theories because when I read them, it almost just is laughable. Like theory 2, server overload from high player count.
Which we thought
that
could happen.
It could happen. Yeah, that would have made sense in the beginning. Mm-hmm. But a week later, now that probably a lot of Arma players are playing Hell Let Loose or other similar games, which Hell Let Loose. What are you doing? Is that in your library yet?
Oh, why haven't I bought it yet?
I'm just kidding. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
So I'm becoming one of the world's greatest art players. It takes around 4,000 hours.
You've already passed that.
I know. I need 4,000 more. I mean, I'll let you know when I'm done.
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. In the beginning, that would have made like some sort of a sense because, we were among that, new players coming in droves. And I still think that they could replicate that again, having new players come in droves when this gets fixed.
Mm-hmm.
But, after a week, that's not what's going on. I don't think so.
No.
Theory 3, technical and developmental challenges. That's not it. Because if that was it, they would have never posted that they were being DDoSed.
Mm-hmm.
They would have never confirmed that, which according to that article we read, they had confirmed that they were getting DDoSed.
True. It did take a minute, though. There was definitely problems, obvious problems, but way before they put that up. And which made speculation run wild.
Yeah, because even before this all started, we were always talking about how oh yeah, this game is running really great, but it could use a little polish here and there on the PS5, because it's just a different different system, and patches and updates were coming out. Remember, they were making it better and smoother.
Mortars, all that came out.
Exactly. All that was about to come out. Anyways, and then the last theory that I found out there was that the modding community was having a negative impact. It said that they were unintentionally contributing to server problems, and that their custom created content was having causing stability issues and compatibility issues with updates, and that was causing it. But that also just does not seem like what's going on.
It's a common place where your mind goes, for sure. And I think I think that every time something's wrong with Arc, because every server I play on has tons of mods, and one of my fixes, I'll go down, unload all my mods and reload them, and so it's in the back of your mind. But this one, it's obvious, we kind of see what's happening here, and I just want to probably go on the record too, is it is fucked up to do that. You shouldn't make a mod about an ongoing conflict that people are dying in, and I don't want to act like I'm not above doing something stupid or saying something out of place or whatever, but I think somewhere it is
kind of hey guys, come on, let's just have a little sensitivity to the it's not like hey, you don't have the right, you shouldn't be doing, no, it's free to, at least in the US and Mexico as well, you're free to create and have speech and it's your constitutional right? I mean, that's what it is. Same down here.
Yeah, and it's something I think we have.
But there's a sensitivity aspect though. It's just hey, we get it, but come on.
Yeah. I think it just falls in that category of thing. Just because you can do a thing doesn't make it a good thing to do. And years ago, I think, the gap between when a conflict was going on and when a video game was going to be made about it was 20 years, but the technology now, we've got to learn new ethics and morals, surrounding things like that. And just, the way we can make a difference, I guess, is just don't play it. You see it, you don't join that server, and eventually they'll go away, hopefully. And
Yeah, but we're humans, dude. They're gonna be, they gotta. It'd be internet, and we can follow up with this and see what they do and what they're gonna be doing to try and fix the problem. Right now, it seems like maybe they're not trying to do much. It's hard to say. We can follow this closely and see how it's gonna get resolved. Whether they pay the ransom. Or, whatever you call that. I don't know if it's a ransom. I guess it's a ransom because they're holding the servers hostage in a way.
Yeah.
Whether they decide to prohibit, remove, or modify content so that that whole server where they're simulating that war is going on, they can take that down or something. Who knows what they're gonna do? It's still hard to say what it really is, right?
Yeah.
This is all provided that what we've heard is true.
Very much so.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I hope that it doesn't kind of derail things and that we end up back on there and it just kind of settles down. And, I was having a really good time with it and I hope it goes back to functioning well. That's kind of tough to take.
It's tough. But hey, look, I'm going to just say this. If you're looking for something to kind of scratch the same itch in the meantime, fellow gamers, check out Hell Let Loose. And hopefully Arma can get their servers back up soon and you can just, we can go back to having a great time on there because it is a really fun game. I don't think, most gamers are just having fun with it because it's a video game, right? They're not giving it any deep thought and, conceptually or when I'm playing the game, I'm not really giving deep thought into the Cold War, I'm just having a fun time, and I choose both teams and I have a great time and, it's a video game.
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost like if I was going to make the argument, why you shouldn't do that, I could make an argument why you never, maybe military simulation games shouldn't exist or, any kind of war game, because there are definite tragedies and traumas that happen there. But,
it's true.
Yeah. So yeah, they're yeah, I don't know. I hope they find some kind of resolution where we can all kind of learn something from this and get back to playing. They can direct them bots somewhere else.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, direct those bots somewhere else. Well, that's pretty much what we're looking at, fellow gamers. Let us know what you think. Do you think, do you think this DDoS thing is kind of because of the Ukraine and Russia war going on over there? Do you think it's from Activision trying to, suppress the Arma effect and stealing all of its player base? That theory's been floating around there too, allegedly. Let us know what you think. You can drop comments on Spotify. We'd also love to, if you could rate and review the podcast. In fact, we are getting so close to having 10 reviews, I think there are. 10 little reviews there. We're getting real close. We're at 9. Help us get to 10. Help us get to 15. That would be so awesome. It really helps us get out there as an independent podcast to more listeners. A comment if you like. Let us know what you think about what's going on with Arma. Let us know what you think about what's going on with PlayStation, when you think it'll be back up, and let us know if you think they're related, if they're interconnected. Also, of course, we're all over social media. I think you can just type in @NWG Podcast and you'll find us. We're all over the place. And we're even streaming these days. We'll get that information up into our podcast descriptions at some point. I think it might even already be up. We're everywhere, but mostly, yeah, any help, any love and support you can give us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcasts, that would be the most helpful thing. Indeed.
Hell yeah.
Chuck, any final comments, words, conclusions?
Just everybody hang in there till things get back up and running. Jeez.
Right?
I don't know. I think I'm going back to bed.
Yeah.
I'll be rested up when it's working. But yeah, just it's been fun kind of, speculating and trying to figure it out. And just, God, it's just a crazy world we live in these days. Like how.
Yeah. I guess in the meantime, I guess I'm going to do some chores. I might fold some. I'll send you a picture of my my folded, my folded laundry or something. I don't know. Shit. I don't know what else to do. No, I'm just kidding. All right, everyone. Have an awesome weekend. We love you. Chuck, love you, man.
Peace.